So, where did the crack actually start? It is the burning question fans whisper, acting like the ugly truth isn't staring them down. Look closely. This K-pop transformation isn't some natural bloom or sudden magic. It is a calculated strike, a classic industry con game dressed up as freedom. The agency pushes a narrative that this is autonomy, that the girls begged for it, that this swagger is real. But listen, raw confidence does not manifest instantly in coordinated lingerie, identical aesthetics, and meticulously angled shots designed for the male gaze. That isn't rebellion. It is submission. The fandom felt the whiplash instantly. 1 second, these girls were sold as regal, pristine, untouchable icons. Then, boom. Everything got louder, the fabric got tighter, the chaos erupted, and the skin was bared. Dare to ask why. And the gaslighting is immediate. They are grown women. They chose this. You are the creep for noticing. It sounds so empowering, right? But that excuse ignores the brutal machinery of idol culture. What a woman wears on her day off is not the same as a corporate concept blasted globally, monetized for billions, and surgically optimized to hook hungry eyes. Naming this sexualization is not about denying idols their will. It is about refusing to play make-believe that the agency lacks the final say. Labels do not clear concepts for joy or freedom. They clear what hits. When a style abruptly feels torn from the sound, the narrative, or the group's true spirit, it is because a suit upstairs saw the data crash and knew that provocation pays better than art. This is not growth. It is capitalization. Flipping eyes into data, data into dollars, and dollars into power. It is the cold mechanics of a flesh trade. The unease isn't about the fabric, it is the dark intent. When a look feels built to hook men who hate the songs, you must ask, who is this for? Once you pull that thread, the fantasy dies. If this chat makes you tense, that is why we must have it. Stay close, we are just scratching the paint. To see the full ugly truth of how this trap ensnares K-pop, you need to hit subscribe, follow now, and don't blink. The rabbit hole goes deeper. And I am taking you all the way down. Trust me, you do not want to miss what is coming. As soon as you push back, the narrative twists. Suddenly, if you doubt the vibe, you are a prude, a controller, or a hater of female power. That charge is a weapon. It kills the debate on contact. It turns a system issue into your personal defect. Rather than asking why the visuals are hungrier, cheaper, and more thirsty for clicks, you are forced to question your own mind. It is a trap, a deliberate sleight of hand to silence you. That is how they neuter the truth. They make you the villain for spotting exploitation. This game thrives in K-pop because stans are programmed to shield their faves like bodyguards. Devotion blurs into blindness. To admit a label is selling sex feels like stabbing the group in the back, so fans grab the nearest shield. They love this concept. It is their art. It is 2026, but liking it does not delete the trap. Desiring a role in a machine is not the same as owning the machine. A suggestion is not command, certainly not when your fame, your paycheck, and your very name are held hostage by executives whose bonuses rely on farming your body for viral clicks. It is a gilded cage. We are all pretending it is a throne. The business feasts on this confusion. It peddles the myth that we are seeing raw soul, when we are actually consuming a product polished by committees, data points, and pitch slides. When the outfits shrink just as the moves get dirtier and the lens gets invasive, do not call it fate, call it strategy. The target isn't the loyalists, they are locked in. The fresh meat is the outsider. The viral shocks, the quote dunks, the thirst traps, the I don't know her but wow crowd. These casuals don't need a heart connection. They just need a visual hook sharp enough to arrest their thumbs. It is predatory engineering designed to harvest the gaze of raw strangers. And here is the bitter pill people spit out. When content goes live, it loses its audience filter. It does not ask who is watching or for what purpose. It bleeds out to everyone, including those with twisted intentions the fandom would rather not visualize. Pretending that isn't real isn't empowerment. It is willful blindness. Naming that isn't shaming anyone. It is basic media literacy. And the reason it is dismissed is because acknowledging it forces you to confront how much of this industry runs on denial. It is a dark pact. This is where the age debate gets twisted, because the law is used as a moral shield. Fans chant the same mantra like a hex. They are legal now. As if maturity is a switch flipped at midnight that magically erases power imbalances, fear, and coercion. In truth, absolutely nothing shifts between the eve of the birthday and the morning after. The same bosses hold the keys, The same ironclad deals bind them. The same terror of being discarded or erased still haunts every single move. It is a legal fiction covering a very real, dark vulnerability. Debuting kids in K-pop is not a glitch. It is the blueprint. Youth is sold as pure, fresh, untouched potential. Fans are trained to view idols as infants, fragile dolls to guard, frozen in time. Then, the instant the clock strikes legal, the script snaps into lust, heat, and maturity. This shift is not natural blooming. It is a trapdoor that was rigged from the start. The business does not grow a conscience just because a birthday passed. The contracts just get simpler, and the public outcry goes silent. It is a brutal factory setting. The worst part is how fast fans pivot to lawyer speak instead of art speak. When the only defense for a risque concept is, "It is legal," we have lost the plot. That is not about creative freedom. That is about technical loopholes. And loopholes are the industry's premium fuel. If a look feels predatory at 17 but okay at 18, that should trigger a riot, not a shrug. Yet those red flags are ignored because they force fans to confront the creepiness of what they are buying. It is far easier to cite the law than to check your own conscience. True maturity isn't a date. It is power, experience, and the right to say no without vanishing. In a game where your face is the asset and refusal destroys you, freedom is a myth. So when stans cheer for adult groups as if that fixes the abuse, they are blind to the machinery that enables the abuse. Legal does not mean safe, it just means actionable. Pretending the law equals morality is how this toxic wheel keeps spinning, crushing idols while we clap. We are celebrating the paperwork, not the person. The hypocrisy shines when the outrage only wakes up after a line is obliterated. A scandal hits, a verse is too dirty, a dance moves too far, and suddenly the timeline gasps. Essays drop. Fake worry flows. But then, we box it up. We treat the crash as a solo error, ignoring the long, calculated road that led to the cliff. It is treated as a glitch, not a feature of a system that has been grooming the audience for years. It is safer to blast one bad moment than to dismantle the branding engine that made that moment inevitable. We hate the symptom, but we buy the disease. This blindness lets fans defend the rest as just fashion while acting morally superior. You cannot scream for 5 minutes, then go back to pretending the whole vibe isn't predatory. If the buzz comes from sex appeal, that energy is real even if we hush it up. The industry banks on this dissonance. It needs you to split your love for the girls from your gut feeling that something is wrong with how they are sold. It relies on you loving the product while ignoring the price tag. They are betting on your cognitive dissonance. Then there is the racial weight that makes this truly gross. Specific girls are shoved into boxes the West already fetishizes. What gets sold as zasses or fire tracks perfectly with stereotypes we have sexualized for ages. It is not an accident. It is branding. It is selling the exotic. When fans claim this is just evolution, not pandering, they ignore the ugly history. In this business, growth is a code for a package that sells faster. They are not breaking molds. They are filling orders for a hungry market. You don't have to see idols as victims to see the trap. Awareness is not power. Being styled, shot, cut, and retailed to millions is not a hobby. It is work. Hard labor. Pretending this is just vibes turns real danger into a debate club topic. The machine survives because we obsess over defending a girl's choice, instead of asking why that specific choice is the only one the industry pays for, pushes, and protects. We fight wrong battles while the executives count the cash and plan the next pivot. Here is the climax. The hardest pill to swallow is the one that cures. You can love a group and still hate the machine that bleeds them dry. These truths can coexist, despite the cult mind demanding total submission. Blind loyalty doesn't shield the girls. It shields the suits. It protects a system that knows you will tear each other apart before you ever dare to look up at the puppet masters. Stop fighting soldiers. Aim for the generals. The cycle breathes because critique is branded as hate. Point out the gears turning, and you are a joy killer or a creep. This pushback is engineered. It is how they bury the bodies. As long as we bicker about what she wanted instead of what they bought, the labels never have to confess why the sexiest shots get the biggest budget. They keep us distracted with noise while they quietly cash the checks generated by this exploitation. Look, we have dated this disaster before. New decade, new crush, same toxic red flags. They dress up abuse as passion. Call your jealousy crazy, and use the rules to break your heart. It feels right, until you wake up years later, sober and alone, realizing those wild nights were just tragic mistakes that look really nasty in the cold morning light. If we do one thing here, let it be this. teaching you that loving an idol isn't about being blind. It is about keeping your eyes open, spotting the lies, and refusing to get played by a lover who needs you quiet to cheat. Craving more tea on this toxic relationship, the gaslighting, and the nasty secrets hid backstage? Then hit that sub button, tap like, spill your own tea down below, and don't ghost us. Because trust me, this messy breakup is just getting started.